I'm Serge. You're watching the channel Aspire to Sail. Today we will be discussing the safety briefing for the crew of a sailing boat before leaving the harbor. Explaining the safety to your crew. You can think of gas, you can think of fire, you can think of water danger. You can start inside and then go outside on deck or in a cockpit, or you can do the other way around as you want. The gas cooker. Many sailboats have gas cookers on board, and obviously gas bottles and also switches. First of all, when preparing your food, ensure that you don't have any curtains around your cooker and there are any paper towels lying close to it. Ensure you know where all the gas bottles are located. Probably you have two of them, one working gas bottle and one spare. How to replace them and where to find them. Also ensure that your spare gas bottle is full. For the switches, you need to know where they're located. At least there should be two switches on a boat, which you can close or open whenever you need them. So you can look at the stickers or you can look in the board book to see, in this case, the gas switch is here and it's across the pipe, which indicates it's closed. But to be sure, you can always ask or read the board book for that. When you're not using the cooker, close the gas switch if you don't need it. If you're cooking while not sailing, it's a good idea to open a hatch to let fresh air get in. If at some point some of your crew smells gas in the cabin, it's important that all the switches get closed and then we open all the hatches for as far as possible to let the fresh air in. As the gas is heavier than air, you will need maybe even to bail out the gas from the floor and even from the bilges. Fire danger. Be sure that your crew knows where to find fire extinguishers and how to operate them. Look for description in a board book. You can look also for stickers on different lockers indicating that the fire extinguishers are there. Like on this boat, you have a sticker on the locker where the trash bin is located. And the fire extinguisher is there. Also, there are fire extinguishers normally in the cabins. In this case, you can see in the rear cabin, you can see a sticker, and you can see that if you lift it, you'll find a fire extinguisher over there. If there is an engine fire, it's important not to open the engine to extinguish the fire, but to use the hole here where it's indicated that you can use the fire extinguisher through that hole. Unless a sailboat has an automatic fire extinguisher inside the engine area, and you can check that in the board book or ask the chartering company. In case of fire, it's also important to stop the engine and shut off the switch, the valve for the fuel, which is in this case located in the rear cabin. Although we are enjoying being on the water, it forms also a danger when it's inside the boat, and it can bring our boat to sinking. Before leaving the dock, ensure that you verify that all the hatches are closed. Instruct the crew that they check the hatches in their cabins and that the hatches are really closed, watertight, waterproof. Further, you explain to the crew where the seacocks are, where the inlets are and the outlets in the boat, to ensure that if there will be a necessity, you can just ask them to close particular seacocks and they go down, they find it quickly and they close it. For example, I can explain that one of the seacock is located behind the seat and you show how to close the seacock, in this case, to put it across the pipe. The seacocks you will mostly find or under the galley table, or you can find them in the head. It is also important to show to the crew how to check for water in the bilges, right? So you point down at the floor different bilge panels, right, floor panels, and how to check if there is water in there. You can also explain how to activate the bilge pump, the electric bilge pump on the electric panel, and how to operate the manual bilge pump, which is normally in the cockpit. While doing the safety briefing inside, you can also take the life jackets and show them to the crew, explain what they're used for, how they are working, right? Open one of the life jackets, show them the bottle inside, show them different indicators, whether they are red or green, how to verify if they are all in a good condition, and a strap also to pull in case it doesn't inflate automatically. Also, it's important to show how to put the life jacket on, how to secure it, right? And also, if the life jackets have crotch straps, how to put the crotch straps on. For the case of emergencies, it's also good for the crew to know that there is a VHF available, if it's available on the boat, and in very serious emergencies you can also have a card on the table prepared, or you can give a simple explanation to the crew how to send out a mayday, how to turn on the VHF, how to adjust the volume and the sculch. For the case of injuries, of health problems, everyone on the boat should know where the first aid kit is located on the boat. So you show to all of the crew where it is located and what is inside of the first aid kit. Make your crew aware of a danger of hitting their head or falling down the companionway when they are going down, right? For the people who never sailed or don't have much sailing experience, it's probably better to turn back, hold the rails and then go down backwards. Show to your crew where the distress signals are located, the flares and smokes, how to hold them, how to open them and how to fire them. Continuing the safety briefing in the cockpit, you explain to the crew where everything which is related to security and safety is located. The fire extinguisher is located, right? And how to take it off, take it out, and how to operate it. Opening and then closing lockers in the cockpit, people can hurt their fingers when the fingers get stuck between the locker cover and the locker itself. So ensure you explain that when putting the locker cover down, they watch for their fingers. You show the location of the gas bottle and how to close the gas valve in case of emergency. Hand operated bilge pump. Also important for the crew to know where it is located and how to operate it. In general, when outside, crew should know that when they're in the cockpit or on deck, they should be always holding on to something and controlling their balance, in order not to fall in the water. So one hand for yourself, one hand for the boat is a good principle to name, and explain that their safety, the crew safety, is always a priority. It's important to show to the crew where they can hold on to. So for example, this handle here, they can also hold on to backstays, they can hold on to shrouds. You can say that in some situations they can grab the rails, but normally the rails are not meant for holding on to them. Rescue material. The crew should know where the rescue material is, what is available on the boat, and how to operate it. So in this case we have a rescue sling, otherwise there could be also a horseshoe, a den buoy, and you can simply show how to take them out and throw them towards someone who is in the water. The boom can be very dangerous and hit someone on his head and maybe even bring someone overboard. So ensure that your crew stays low in the cockpit. Primarily it's applicable for people who are tall like me, so try to be sure that they Winches. Crew should know how to operate them, but also how to avoid injuries for their fingers, their palms, and even for their hair. So first of all, you explain how to put the sheet on the winch, right? But also say that in no case they should be putting the fingers between the sheet and the winch, right? And you can also show that the best way to operate a sheet on the winch is to have like a distance of 10 centimeters from your palm, from your hand to the winch, and then continue putting the twists on the winch, right? And then still taking your hand away from the winch, so keeping the distance. When the sheet is secured in the winch, it is also important for the crew to know that they cannot just undo it, right, while there is tension on the sheet, because the sheet will fly away, the sail will fly away, and it can cause damage. So what they will need to be doing is putting some pressure, so pulling the sheet, and then only with that pressure undoing the sheet from the winch. If you have ladies in your crew with long hair, ensure that their hair is taken away, they are not free, falling free on their shoulders, because if they are working on the winches and their hair gets between the sheet and the winch, they get stuck and it can be very dangerous. Okay, let's talk further about the winches and the sheets and the halyards. We also have jammers or stoppers on the boat, right? So important to tell the crew if there is tension on one of these lines, on one of these ropes, right, and they want to open it, right, it's important to first put a couple of turns on the winch, put a pressure on it, and then only open it. Also tell them that this is not open, this is only open. One other common injury on the boat is burning your hands, your fingers, while letting the rope slip through your hands. So ensure you tell to your crew that you should be paying off the rope while holding it tight instead of letting it slip. At least one, and preferably two, members of your crew should know how to start the engine and how to perform basic operations like moving forward or backwards, and then maybe to stop it. So ensure you show where the electrical panel of the engine is, how to turn on the electricity and how to put it in neutral, and how to start the engine, give a gear forward, give some power forward, give some power backward.
Okay, so hopefully you have learned some new things out of this video, and that will help you make your sailing trips more safe, but also great and unforgettable. Besides that, in the description of this video you will find a downloadable PDF file with a list of topics for your safety briefing for your crew. If you find all this valuable for you, please give the video a like and subscribe to our channel. Fair winds!